Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to today's Cocktails and Questions and Quarantine. So we had a lot of people express interest in today's special treat, both Farsi speakers and English speakers, and people that want to watch it later. So we're going to jump back and forth between the two languages, a little Farsi, a little English, a little Finglish. But the good thing is it's mostly demonstrational, so I think you're going to be fine. سلام همگی و خیلی خیلی خوش اومدین به بخش Cocktails and Questions and Quarantine امروز. من این شانس رو دارم که خانواده عزیزی که باهاش در قرنطینه هستم داخلش یه فیزیکال تراپیست هستش، بنابراین میتونه به ما بگه وقتی که داریم از خونه کار میکنیم چجوری باید درست بشینیم، دستامون رو چجوری درست نگه داریم، کمرمون اگه بدجور بشه چه کار کنیم، گردنمون درد بگیره چه کار کنیم. بنابراین امروز خیلی خیلی فکر میکنم برنامه خوبی و جالب برای همه باشه. یه سری کسایی هستن که فارسی زبان نیستن، برای ما بین انگلیسی و فارسی و فینگلیش میپریم، ولی نازلی جون الان میان و براتون این دمونستریشن رو عوض میکنن. شروع میکنن. نازلی بانو بفرمایید بشینین. به Cocktails and Quarantine خوش اومدین.
سلام همگی. Hello everyone. I'm so happy and excited to be part of Yazdanyar lives. Go lives, I should say. سلام به مهمونای عزیز. ما امروز همونطور که مهرنوش گفت بین فارسی و انگلیسی صحبت میکنیم که همه بتونن پارتیسیپیت بکنن.
نازلی جون همه دارن از خونه کار میکنن این روزا، بعد خب کامپیوتر نشستن، بعد مثلا مثل ما الان سر میز ناهارخوری مجبوری از اون یه میز کار برای خودت بسازی. به ما نشون بده الان اینجا شما چه کار کردین، چی مهمه، نشستن، نمیدونم ریشیوی دست به چه من که نمیدونم، شما بلدین، شما واردین، برای ما توضیح.
یه ذره دیگه میخوای به طرفم. Perfect. So I'll go over the basic items that any basically posture type should pay attention to. And again, with a disclaimer, if anybody has any injuries or has received medical advice, they should probably stick to what their medical professional has told them. But these are just general tips. ما امروز این سراپی که اینجا داریم در موردش صحبت می‌کنیم که چجوری به خودتون رو در محیط کارتون در خونه بتونید خودتون رو بذارین که بدنتون به طوری باشه که آسیب نبینه. So some of the fundamentals are that you are managed. Can you move it just a little bit?
من کامرمن معمولا نیستم ولی سعی خودم رو دارم میکنم.
So you want to position yourself so that your hip joint and your knee joint are so that your knee joint is slightly just below your hip. So you don't want to be sitting in a way that your knee is above your hip, nor do you want to sit in a position that your legs are dangling, because what that does, it puts pressure on your low back. So if you're sitting on a chair that, let's say your feet don't reach the floor, maybe you can use a simple step stool under your feet so that your feet are resting on the floor. So چیزی که الان در موردش صحبت کردیم این بود که اگر روی صندلی نشستین و پاتون به زمین نمیرسه، این میتونه فشار بذاره روی قوس کمر و چیزی که کمک میتونه بهش بکنه اگه حتی یک کتاب بزرگی چیز داشته باشین که زیر پاتون بذارین و زانوتون و پاتون قشنگ روی
حالا زیر پای شما چی هست؟ برای اینکه اون به نظر نه کتاب میاد نه باکسی میاد نه
we have the luxury of a massage. So now if you have that a foot massage is really
اون پایین کار میکنه و پاشم ماساژ میده. ببینین یاد بگیرین، قرنطینه میتونه یکم سخت‌تر از اون چیزی هم که فکر میکنین انقدر سخت نباشه.
That's right. So then what that brings is that your back, you want your low back and your entire back to be supported on the chair that you're sitting at. Now, for those of us, I'll go through some different posture types. If your posture type is so that, let's say your back is a little bit more arched and you sit in this position. Some of the things that you can do, as easy as, for example, rolling a towel, simple tools, and you put it behind you. Now, if that gives you a little bit of support and you feel good about it, then you know what? You should consider doing that at home. اگه روی صندلی میشین و این قوس کمرتون احساس میکنین درد میگیره و به صندلی به اصطلاح سپورت نداره، میتونین راحت یک حوله کوچیکی رو اینطوری تا بکنین و بذارین روی این قوس کمر که در طول مدتی که نشستین در طول خونه این عضله های پشتتون استراحت بکنن. So then second thing comes position yourself so that your elbows and your arms are such that are at almost 90 degrees, your wrist and your elbow. Now, I'll have to say, this is not the perfect setup, yet as close to perfect that I could get it at. So, and what that does is that it takes the pressure off. I'm sure some of you have heard or you may have said, you know, you've had carpal tunnel and so forth. If you're positioning yourself and your elbows are such that it's lower, like the 90 degrees, it can put a little bit of strain on your elbows. But what's worse is that if you're sitting and you're above 90 degrees, you're reaching to a desk, that really puts pressure on your shoulders and your elbow joints and on your wrists. So بهتره که دستتون به حالت 90 زاویه 90 درجه باشه. Now some people ask, is it good to put these pads under my wrist so supports my arms and I completely am resting on these gel pads. It's controversial. I would say that if you're resting in on the gel pads at all times and you're typing and going at it for an hour, that can actually cause some compression and or weaken just your muscles to work for itself. So I would say I would alternate and let your muscles work and support your wrists so that you have some strength, and then give it a break and rest it on the pad. الان در مورد فارسیشون نگفتم
نه نگفت بریم نه اگر
زیر دستتون یه ذره سپورت بذارین، میتونین هی بردارین و بذارین بهتره تا اینکه یه چیزی رو بذارین و دائما این فشار باشه روی رست دستتون. The other thing to consider is that your monitors. Now, the general rule of thumb is that your monitors would be about an arm length away from you. And what that does is that it prevents you from doing this. And what that does is strains your neck. And or if it's too close, you're sitting back like this. Now, depending on what kind of, if you have vision impairments, like you're nearsighted or farsighted and you wear glasses, then you need to position basically the monitor in a position that it's most comfortable to you. And that may be that it's less than arm length away or more than an arm length away. The only thing you want to consider is that you're not doing this. It's not causing you to do this. And you want to basically, you're bringing everything to you so that your body is in the most rested position. So have a monitor اینه که معمولاً میخواین مانیتور به اندازه این که این دستتون بیاد به اینجا باشه. نه اگه عینک میپوشین میخواین طوری باشه که ممکنه یه ذره این ازتون دورتر یا نزدیکتر باشه، ولی میخواین طوری باشه که قشنگ وقتی که دارین به این مانیتور نگاه میکنی گردنتون اینطوری نمیکنین که مثلا بخوام ببینم قشنگ چه جوریه یا اینکه بیاین عقب بخواین ببینین. هر فردی این فرق میکنه. So this is more of a little bit of a fancier setup that my beautiful friend actually brought for me from her work so that while I'm working from home I can actually sit. And if you have this at home and you can actually stand, the same principles apply, and you want to basically maintain that 90-90 rule. And what you want to also do, maybe bring the step stool behind you and you alternate while you put your one foot up and then the other. And what that does, it takes the pressure off of your back. و اگه هم بخوایم وایسین و کار بکنین، همون قانون به اصطلاح میذارین که دستتون و آرنجتون 90 درجه باشه و میتونین پاتون رو روی یک کتابی بذارین و هر مثلا چند دقیقه یا 20 دقیقه عوض بکنین که این فشار رو کمرتون رو برداره. Well, does this address this? Should we do a laptop setting or not?
آره دیگه ببین مثلا خب this is something که obviously she has brought and thought about, but I know a lot of us مثلا من خودم نداشتم نه از این و شیرم که نمیکنه، نمیذاره که منم با میز فنسیش بازی کنم. بنابراین اگر اینو نداریم مثلا لپتاپ معمولی داریم و خب مثلا میزی که تو خونه داریم مثلا یه محدودیتایی هست، الان که اینجا لپتاپ هست میتونین نشون بدین چجوری انجام بدیم بهتره.
همون کانسپت اپلای میکنه میخواین که لپتاپ رو نه از خودتون دور بذارین که اینطوری باشین کار بکنین از خونه، یا اینکه بیاین اینطوری بشین مثلا حالت لم بدین اینطوری، برای اینکه چی میشه کمر آدم کمر آدم اینطوری ممکنه حالت لم داده برای یه مدت براتون راحت باشه، ولی بعد از یه مدت این کمر رو روش فشار میذاره. Again, the same principles apply. You want to sit upright. You want your feet to reach the floor. You want your elbows and your wrists to be at 90 degrees. And you want to position the screens just so that you're basically it's at a length that is comfortable to your eyes, that you're not squinting and bringing your neck forward, or nor are you sitting back. So that would be really the basics of maintaining, again, your knees and your hip being in line, your feet reaching the floor, your low back being rested, and if using a roll towel if you need to, your shoulders and your neck being aligned. So your ears should be in line with your shoulders and not being like this. Now, if this is your general posture, I'm not gonna say go ahead and really push yourself to be upright, because then what that does is also strains your muscles. Maintain your most neutral posture that you have. If you have armrests, go ahead and use them. Anything that makes your body be in the most relaxed position, neutral as you can. And most importantly, every 20 minutes or so, get up from your seat, do a little stretch and so forth. And this can maybe take us to the next
Yes,
segment.
absolutely. So I have two questions for Nazly. First, yes, and most importantly, where'd you get your fancy leggings from? Those are some really nice leggings that I love. میپرسم شلوار زیباشو از کجا گرفته؟ از همه چیز مهم.
Just for you, honey.
Okay, so من شخصا I love massages. I get them regularly, especially if I work out, and I've been continuing my workout routine. And obviously, between working at home, the neck pain and the back pain, and not being able to do that, I was wondering if Nazly could give us some recommendations if we have neck pain, if we have simple massage techniques for our hands. So صحبت سر این که خیلیامون الان متاسفانه شرایطی که وجود داره، اگر دردی مثلا وجود بیاد نمیتونیم بریم ماساژ بگیریم، نمیتونیم بریم کسی کمکمون کنه. So از نازلی خواهش میکنم با چیزایی که تو خونه داریم، یا اگه یکی دو تا تکنیک بتونه به ما نشون بده که ما خودمون تو خونه هستیم برای درد گردن، پشت، مثلا دستامون چه کار میتونیم بکنیم. یکی گفت پاشین و راه برین که اون خودش خیلی مهمه.
هر 20 دقیقه اگه بتونیم 20 دقیقه، نیم ساعت، 40 دقیقه، هر چیزی که بیشتر نزدیکی به یه ساعت برسه، بعدم واقعا you're straining your body per se. So we were just saying that if you can take just a few second breaks every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or 40 minutes.
Now, if you're listening from Yazdanyar law, this is not applicable to you. I'm just kidding. I tell him to
10
take walks.
seconds.
No,
10 second
I tell
break.
him to take walks. We do team calls. I'm telling you, we got a great setup. Okay.
So that's one of it. And then the other thing that you can do is, a lot of us may say, like, you know, I have arm pain or I have carpal tunnel and so forth. You could do simple stretches as, think of your body. We have muscles, we have nerves, and nerves scare people a lot more. You think, oh, my nerves are damaged, but only the difference is that it's just a more sensitive element in your body, and the pain can be more excruciating. And what that means is that if you have some kind of excruciating pain, you want to rest your body a little bit more, and you want to stretch within your pain-free range. So don't go ahead and do some extreme stretches like this if your arms are burning. So some of the simple things are within, again, your pain-free range. این stretch ها رو میتونیم انجام بدیم، ولی در حالتی باشه که مثلا دردتون رو بیشتر نکنه اگه درد دارین. So simple things as just like making a fist and stretching your mid-back. And what that does when you've been sitting a long time, it really stretches your mid-back. Nice. Yeah. Or what we say, like wall angels. Put your arms out and then go back up all the way and stretch your arms like this. These are really basic and simple. And yet, do it please in your pain-free range. So for some of us, it could be that I could just go out here and that's enough because it really strains my mid-back. Do it in your pain-free range. So این stretch ها رو در زاویه های انجام بدین که بهتون دردتون رو بیشتر نکنه، و اگر نمیتونین برین تمام دستتون رو صاف بکنین، نکنین، فقط مثلا در این حالت بیاین.
ولی خیلی احساس خوبی ها اگر دارین اینو الان تماشا می‌کنین، به خدا خیلی خوب بود. قشنگ I feel like for the first time I had a really tough workout yesterday, so I'm in a lot of pain. Sorry, it's Friday. I'm
know.
having fun. Let's go.
The other things that you could do if people have said, oh, I have carpal tunnel or my wrists really hurt while I've been typing a lot, like a simple, what I say, carrying a tray, like you want to do the tray stretch. Again, in your pain-free range. Putting your wrists out like this and putting them stretching. Now, if you start feeling burning or really hard, strong pain here, don't stretch out all the way. Just go within your pain-free range. So these are some of the simple things.
Okay.
Other things is like just turning your neck around, bringing your knees up to your chest. These are just any movement within your pain-free range. Okay.
And then can you show us
Yes.
one of my favorites? Okay, so
Yes.
there's a little trick for doing a little self-massage at home.
If I'm sure all of us could have just 2 tennis balls in our house. تو اینا دیگه توپای تنیسن که زیاد سفتم نیست. And grab a sock by a jurab and put these within a sock, just like this. And if it's a long sock that you can actually hold on to both ends, even better. If not, this will do. And then I'm going to just turn it to this wall. You grab this and you just put it, این توپو به حالتی میذارین که بیفته به وسط پشتتون. And you lean on it. بهش تکیه میدین. Now, the amount of weight you push in on here is basically based on your own comfort level and whatever feels good. And you can bend your knees and roll up and down. And then if you find a site that you're like, ooh, that's kind of tender, you can just basically roll on it like this. If it's too much, get closer to the wall and don't put a lot of weight on it. Because you don't want to basically be doing this for a few minutes and then feel really sore afterwards. It's just meant to loosen up some of these muscles that you've been sitting and basically straining. And you can go anywhere to as low as your low back and roll on it. Again, it should feel comfortable. اینو میتونین بذارین تا قوس کمرتون هم میتونین بذارین ولی فقط در درجه برین که دردتون بیشتر نشه و یه حالتی باشه که مثلا ماساژ داریم میگیرین. Now, you could also do this on the floor, which is a little bit more intense. And I would only say do that if you're able to get up and down from the floor independently. If you can't do that, please don't attempt it. میتونین روی زمین هم دراز بکشین و اینو بذارین در بین وسط پشتتون و روش یه ذره جلو عقب برین. ولی اگه نمیتونین روی زمین راحت پاشین و بشین، روی زمین نکنین، روی دیوار بکنین. And I think these, it's just simple stretches, but we can all need them. You can either put it in the bottom of your feet. Our feet sometimes get sore. That brings a little bit of comfort. Sure. And your calf muscles. So these are some basic techniques that you could do that throughout the day in this pandemic that can be a little stressful. We can, take care of our physical body.
Perfect. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Nazly. Thank you guys for tuning in. As you know, our whole point in doing all of this is to provide some good information to help you guys during these difficult times. So I'm so grateful, Nazly. Her day job is to administer and run an entire section or many sections of a hospital. So she's really taken the time to come and join us and give us these pointers. I truly appreciate it. If you do have questions, feel free to always message us and we'll do our best to answer them. Obviously, this is just for information purposes for you. We are not giving any advice. ممنونم از این تماشا کردیم. امیدوارم که از این اطلاعات تونستین استفاده کنین. میدونین که هدف ما از این برنامه این هستش که هر جوری که میتونیم الان تو این شرایط سختی که وجود داره اطلاعاتی بدیم که بالاخره کوچکترین کمک هم بتونه بکنه به شما، بتونین ازش استفاده کنین. Obviously اگه سوالی دارین از دکترتون بپرسین، میتونین بر ما هم پیغام بدین اگه چیزی باشه که ما بتونیم جنرالی جواب بدیم که با کمال میل جواب میدیم. اگر هم سابجکتی هست، چیزی هستش که خواستین راجبش بیشتر بدونین، ما دفتر وکالت هستیم، ولی هدف ما این هستش که همیشه از کامیونیتی که توش هستیم سر دنیا حمایت کنیم، کمکتون بکنیم هر جوری که میتونیم. برای این اگه سوالی دارین راجع به یه سوژه خواستین صحبت کنین، یه مسئله بود، با ما تماس بگیرید. ان شاءالله که هر کجای دنیا باشین خوب و سلامت باشین، جمعه خوبی داشته باشین. و نازلی جون بازم مرسی از وقتتون. دوشنبه میبینیمتون. دوشنبه داریم با یه ریلتور داخل کالیفرنیا صحبت میکنیم راجع به شرایط خونه و الان خب خرید خونه، فروش خونه، اجاره خونه و اصولا شرایط ریل استیت به چه صورت هست. بعد از اونم دکتر کاوه‌پور که دفعه قبل مهمون ما بودن در مورد مسائل آتیسم صحبت میکنن به زبان فارسی، برای که درخواست زیادی داشتین. ممنونم، مواظب خودتون باشین، به امید دیدار.
خداحافظ.